All right, today we'll be doing lab 7-5. As you can see, we're back in the VMware for University of Arkansas, and we're in the Excel within that because we're going to be doing some more SQL database and KPI stuff. But instead, today we're going to go straight into Power Pivot, and we're going to click Manage, and we're going to choose External Data, and we're going to get it from a database. The database that we are going to use is still the same as all the other databases that we've used before. And the database name is the same as well. You don't have to worry about the friendly connection name because that'll automatically type it in for you whenever you type this in, which is kind of what you saw as we were going. We go next, and we're going to write our own query for the SQL database. And I'm going to go ahead and write it out for you, and I'll take you out of the writing. All right, so here we have it written out. Here we can see we're going to select the transaction date, and we're going to sum the transaction amount, and we're going to sum it, and we're going to call it sales. We're going to pull this from the transact table, and we're going to group it by the transaction date. And a neat little thing that we can do here is we can actually click validate here. That way we can check to see if our SQL statement is actually valid rather than having to go through all those steps and then run it and then find out that we may have mistyped something or something else. So we can actually validate it here before we click finish. But we see here our SQL statement is valid, so we're going to click finish. And I'm going to go ahead and take you out of the way for this. Oh, never mind. That went faster than I thought. So here we are. We'll click close that, and it'll bring us in here. And then we're not going to directly put it into Excel. We're going to do a few things. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on our transaction date here, and we're going to go over to design, and then we're going to click date table, and we're going to click new. And so we can see here it kind of went ahead and kind of broke out this information that we have here into, into all of our information in these different columns. So 2014, what month it is, so it's month number 1, it's January. We can see it's January 2014, day of the week number, so it's like Wednesday is like the 4th day of the week, Sunday is day number 1 of the week, and then we can actually see what day of the week those occurred. But if you'll also notice down here that all of the information is still here, it's just we've kind of broken it out and put another thing in here. All right, so that what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make sure that we've clicked on our calendar, and we're going to do pivot table. And we're going to make sure it's on a new worksheet. We're going to click OK. And so now we can see here that we have the calendar one, and we have our query one as well. So we can see transaction date and sales, and we can also see, calendar, date hierarchy, and everything. All right, so now we have all this information in the pivot table. What we're going to do is we're going to pull our year into columns. We're going to pull our month into rows, and then we're going to pull also our day of the week into rows. So we can see here now, we don't want day of the week number, we want day of the week. There we are. So now we can see within January, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday through Saturday. We can also see up here 2014, 2015, 2016. And then finally, we're going to use the other table that we had, the query, and we're going to pull our sales information into our values. As you can see here, since we're using 2 different tables, it says that a relationship may be needed. We can just go ahead and auto detect that, and it's pretty good at doing that for us. So as we can see here, we have now gotten all the information of every Sunday in January of 2014, the sum of the sales was this number right here. So you might notice if you watched the video for lab 7-4 that these grand totals are a little off. And that's because when we were creating our query, we did not specify that we only wanted purchases. So we have returns included in here as well. So we're going to go ahead and change that and make sure that we pull just the purchases. So we're going to go back over here to the manage. And you can see it brought us back into what we had previously done. We want to make sure that we click on query. We want to make sure we're on the query table. And we're going to go over to design and the table properties. And here we can actually see the SQL statement that we had written before. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to insert it right here below transact, where our tran type equals P, because that's how we denote as purchases. And we want it, since it's a string, we're going to make sure it's in quotes. And then we're going to go and validate it again. We can see that our SQL statement is valid, and we'll go ahead and save it. And I'll go and take you out of this wait. All right, so we go ahead and load it in, and now you can see that it has actually changed all the data on here. So it has adjusted everything on here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close this out. And now we can see here a little bit better that our data has changed to reflect just the purchases. So we can see our numbers have changed from before. And with that done, that actually finishes up Lab 7-5 for us. Thank you very much.